All right, so the first thing that we're going to want to do with this Moped Man assignment is we need to save the moped guy. So as you can see right here, I left you instructions. You want to right click this moped guy and save image as. And you want to save it somewhere that you're going to know where to get to it. So I'm going to put it on the desktop. It can be saved as, it can keep the name Moped, and I'm going to click save. The second thing that we need to save before we actually get into Wick Editor is the MP3 that I provided. I've given you a bike sound so that when we play our movie, it's going to have a sound with it. And so to download this, you just need to click on this link and it will automatically download it for you. And I believe that one will put it into the downloads folder. All right, so now I'm going to launch Wick Editor. And I'm just gonna delete that. Okay, so the first thing I wanna do is I wanna name my project. So I'm gonna come up to settings, and where it says my project, I'm going to change that. We're just gonna call it Moped Man. And we'll leave the background color, the width, the frame rate, everything else is good. So I'm just going to hit apply. Okay, this first layer, we're going to name this one land. So our moped guy needs something to take off from and something to land on, so some sort of a ramp. So I'm going to use the brush tool, and if you recall, anything that is in the gray space will not be exported with your video, so you can extend out here and it's okay, it will not be seen. So I'm going to start out here and just kind of build this little ramp and bring it down and close it off. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. It's kind of a bad ramp. Take it off like that. Okay, so that's fine. And then because I use the brush tool and because it is closed off, I can use the fill bucket to fill it in. So I'm going to fill it in with a green color to kind of make it look like it's land. That's going to work for me. And I'm actually going to take this one, I'm going to scoot it over some. It's a little too far over. I'll do that. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and go back to settings, and I want to change the sky color. I want to make it kind of blue. So I went back up to settings, I went to the background color, and I'm just going to pick kind of a light blue color to put in the background. Now we're going to add another layer. I'm going to name this one Moped Man, and I need to drag this layer above the land layer. So I just click and hold and drag it above. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to click in the first frame of Moped Man, and I want to drag it out because I stated that we want it to be 150 frames long. I might have to let go and then go a little bit further. Just continuing it on out. Keep going. We're going to get to 150. And we're going to do the same thing because we want the land to last the same amount of frames. So we're going to drag that one out to 150 as well. Okay, and then we are done with the land layer, so I'm going to lock it so we don't have anything go wrong with that one. All right, I'm going to come back to Moped Man and I'm going to click right here in frame 1. Okay, so now being aware of where you saved Moped Man is important because we're going to go find it, drag it, and drop it onto our stage. So I'm going to minimize this, and I know that I put my Moped Man right here on my desktop. Some might have put it in their downloads folder, wherever, you know, go locate your downloads folder. And I'm going to click and hold and drag. I can drag this Moped Man around, and I'm going to just come hover over my Wick editor and it'll pop it back up, and I'm going to bring it right here and let go. Now he's ginormous, so we're going to need to size him down. So I'm going to drag. There's easier ways to do this, but I like to do it from the corners. I'm going to drag until I see a corner. I'm going to hold down Shift so I don't lose the aspect ratio of his dimensions. I'm going to hold down Shift, grab the corner, and just start working him down smaller. Now he's facing the wrong way. Most of the time animations work from left to right. That's what we want to do today. So to flip this is I just have to grab one of the corners on one of the sides, click and hold, and just drag it out, and that just switches his direction. And then I'm going to size him down just a little bit more, and I'm going to start him off stage. I'm going to rotate him, get his wheels on the ground. There we go. Perfect. All right. So we are in frame 1 of Moped Man, and we are going to click on Tween. Tween is right over here above the layer, and it's this little diamond. And so I'm in frame 1, I'm going to click Tween, and right now it's done nothing except put this gray dashed line here all the way to the end of 150. Now what's neat about using tweens is that we're used to having to do our animations frame by frame. You go one frame, you do something, you go to the next frame, you do something. In a tween, it does the animation stuff for you. You just have to pick and choose where it ends up at certain points. So if we go right here, and I'm going to take this playhead and I'm going to drag it to frame 10. Now I'm going to take my Moped Man and I'm going to drag him a little bit further up and rotate him because his wheels are not on my ground. And if you look, we now have this arrow. And if we take our playhead and we go backwards, you can see that it has automatically started the animation for us to the point that we set. So now I'm going to drag my playhead to frame 20, and I'm going to drag him a little bit further. And you might have to adjust or rotate depending on what your ground or your land is. And then I'm going to drag the playhead to frame 30, and that's when we kind of want him starting to jump off the cliff. Whoops, I want him to go a little higher. Can we do that? So let's see what we got. So that's what we have so far to frame 30. All right. So now I'm going to drag my playhead to frame 40, and I'm going to bring him up a little, and I'm going to start to rotate him a little because I'm going to try and have my little guy do like a little loop-de-loop to come back down. Now, the good thing about this also is this is not to perfection. It's not exact. You can always go back and modify. So I'm going to go to 50, go a little bit further up, rotate a little more, 60, a little bit further up, rotate a little more, and then I think I'll start my descent. I'm going to go to 70. And you have kind of free reign to make your moped man do whatever trick you want him to do. It could be in a street, jumping, you know, hurdles or cows or whatever you want it to be, or you can do what I'm doing. You kind of have free reign to make your own creation with this, as long as you're using the moped guy and you're using the tweens, and it's 150 frames or 10 seconds long. All right, just gonna keep going through. He's landed now. $30. And I probably needed to do a little bit of adjusting because of where we're finishing up on the 50, but that's okay for what we're doing right now. All right, so let's just check it out and see what it looks like. Let me get back over here and let's play. He does this little loop. Woo. Whoa, whoa. He added something extra fancy there. All right, so that's kind of what my little guy looks like. And now if you wanted to, we could go back. I'm gonna make these frame sizes smaller so I can see a little bit better. I'm gonna work the playhead. Let's say I wanted him to go a little bit higher right here. We could certainly do that. We can adjust. That's kind of the neat thing after you work with your tweens, is you can go back and you can adjust, and the animation adjusts for you. There's not a, you know, all these extra frames that you have to do. Get them adjusted over here. Now I think this is where he adds some kind of an extra little thing. So in something like that, what I would do is I would come to the next frame and I would adjust him myself to make sure that he's twisting in the right direction. That might have been too far. And you might have to, for some reason, for this particular section, you might have to do that until he gets back on track, if this is what you were wanting to do here. I don't know why it added that extra little spin, and maybe you like it, but I want it to be smooth. Let's see, come back. Oh no, that wasn't right. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix this. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So you can play it along, you know, play with it. You can get it to what you like. Now he's flipping a little better. See, it's a little held up right there. I'd probably fix that some, but that's good for now. Okay, so you can adjust it to what you want. Now what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate the sound that we downloaded. So we're going to add another layer. We're going to name it Bike Audio. And again, you have to know where you saved the sound, and I believe mine went into my downloads. So I'm going to sort it by date modified. Here it is, bike sound. And I'm going to click and hold and drag and just hover above the Wick editor tab. And this time I need to drop it into my asset library. Where did it go? It's not there. Let me see. Boop. Okay, well then maybe I'll do it this way. Maybe I'll add a sound. Nope, that's not what I want to do. I think for me, I don't know why it didn't drop it into there. Okay, let's do it this way then. I'm going to click on frame 1 and I'm going to drag this. Let's see if it puts it in there now. No. I'm going to drop it onto my stage. Did that do it? Yes, now it put it in there. Okay. That was weird. So instead of dragging it directly into the asset library, you want to drag it just and drop it onto the stage. It will put it in your asset library. That does not mean it is in your animation though. What we need to do now is click frame 1, and then up here in our inspector where it says no sound, we're going to choose bike sound. And now we want to stretch out our bike audio to the 150 so that we have sound for the whole time that we play. And now let's see what it looks like. I'm going to click play. All right, so it's also important for this that the file that you turn in is the MP4, because if you export and turn in a GIF, the sound does not go with it. So for this particular assignment, you must turn in that MP4. So once you get to the point where you've done all this, I would say the first thing to do would be save it in case you want to come back and work on it later. And then you're ready to export. And like I said, you want to export the video. And as that exports, we'll wait, and then I will show you the MP4. And like I said, you can create your own scene. You can create the tricks that it does. You can add stuff to it, like I did on my example. I added the sharks. Here is the MP4. Notice none of the stuff in the gray area is there. It only has the stuff that was on the stage. There you go. And let me open my other one. Not that one. Where's the other one? Maybe I put it in my thing already. I just wanted to show y'all this one. So this is the one that I worked on for the example. And I added tweens for the sharks, for the little sharks that I included. See, these are tweens here. And then also for the big one that comes out of the water. So you can add extra stuff, clouds, different things like that, and you can earn extra points for extra animation.